Freedom Service Dogs of America was founded 30 years ago by Michael and PJ Roche because they believe that their rescued border collie Oreo had the potential to change lives. And 30 years later, we're helping more people than ever and are very proud to carry on this legacy. We are committed to our clients and their service dogs, ensuring that no one goes a single day without their dog by their side. That's why the Successor Dog program is so important. When a service dog is ready to retire, Freedom Service Dogs of America trains a successor dog and helps transition both dogs into the next stage of their lives. As the number of clients on our waitlist continues to grow, we must fill the growing need for successor dogs. We want to be sure that we meet the needs of all of our clients and dogs by offering a lifetime of support.
I would say that my life before Hilo and my life after Hilo is night and day. I was an out there girl. I'd hike and bicycle. Before my fibromyalgia and my GPA, I had a full-time career as a labor and delivery nurse. I would walk every day. So fibromyalgia took away a lot of the zest. It causes me to have pain every day. It causes me to have limited mobility. I also struggle with depression. I have a very difficult time walking. And Hilo, my service dog, helps me with brace and balance. Hilo was a lifeline. He showed up in the dark and pulled me back into the sunlight. I don't know that I could continue with my difficulties without his help. We walk both on the leash and with the harness. On good days, it's just the leash, and on bad days, it's the harness. On the emotional level, Hilo's right there. He's a happy face. He takes my hand. He's like, come on, Mom, let's get up. Let's get going. Let's move. I love Hilo, and I want the best for Hilo. He's getting older, and I know to his last breath, his last thought would be to help me, but I think he's earned a good retirement. I want you to retire well and happy and comfortable, but I'll miss you when you're not by my side always. I have, over the years, become very reliant on having a service dog. I believe if there was not a successor dog program, I would be lost. They take a dog out of shelters. This dog comes to someone who needs the extra help, a dog to help them get up in the morning, get motivated, and face the challenges of life and continue to be a part of the greater community.
Thanks to your support of Freedom Service Dogs of America, we're bringing in a new program called Disco's Dogs. We're now able to branch into helping more people in a whole new way.
Disco's Dogs is the program that provides service dogs to children with autism and neurodivergent disabilities. I started Disco's Dogs out of a need in my own family. Ian was the answer to a dream. We found out pretty early on in our family building process that we were unable to have biological children on our own. When we got the surprise phone call from our adoption agency saying, we have a beautiful little boy who needs a mommy and daddy, the very next morning at 10 a.m. we picked up our little guy and brought him home. For Robert and I, he was the making of our family. He has some challenges, but we quickly discovered that they were related to sensory issues. He had trouble with bright lights, people sneezing, fast-moving objects. Anything really loud and disturbing really bothered him. We were watching a show on PBS that was training dogs for children on the autism spectrum, and it's like the light went off and we both sat up in bed and thought, I wonder if a dog could help Ian. The very first Disco that we had was a male yellow Labrador retriever. He was large and funny and silly and devoted to Ian, like right from the very start. But he was also a friend to everyone else in the family. One of the biggest things that Disco learned how to do to help Ian was to sleep in bed with him. Ian needed that constant presence, that pressure up against his body. So the first night we brought Disco home was the first night in Ian's first 5.5 years that he slept in his own bed. Sadly and unfortunately, we lost Disco a year ago. He, at the age of 5, developed lymphoma, and we lost him to the lymphoma. And the hardest part of that was telling your son that his very best friend in the whole world wasn't going to be with him anymore, that the one intervention, the one thing that was helping him and working, and the one thing that was making him feel whole was leaving him. And so, while as a parent I was devastated for me, because I loved this dog too, our hearts were mostly broken for Ian. I have to say though that after losing Disco, all it did was solidify my conviction for what this means to families and these kiddos who need these dogs so much, because so many of them, they don't have best friends. They don't have the social connections that you and I take for granted every day. Training a successor dog is really, really difficult. There are expectations not just from Ian, but from us as a family. But we also saw it as an opportunity to train some things specifically or look outside the box that we hadn't looked at before with a little bit more experience under our belt. I think once you've already had a service dog and you realize the huge impact that they have in your life, you can't spend a moment of your life without one. By merging with Freedom Service Dogs, it's allowed the Disco's Dogs program to continue to help families in Colorado. Most of the tasks that our dogs learn how to do help a child with proprioceptive input, much like a weighted blanket would for a kid. It helps calm, it helps soothe, it centers them, it helps their central nervous system, and in a lot of cases, these dogs also help create a social bridge in the public. They're no longer the kid with autism, they're the kid with a really cool dog. Freedom can take so many forms for every individual. For some individuals, it's the ability to get out of bed every morning. For others, it's the kiddo who needs a very special friend. For some, it's having a battle buddy by your side as you go out the door. And others, it's having a brace and balance dog who can make sure you don't fall while you're out in public. There's very few organizations across the entire United States who are helping families with this service model, helping them ease their way into having a service dog and performing this public responsibility as an advocate for the disabled community. There's still a great number of people who need our help.
You and your support has allowed Freedom Service Dogs of America to create a variety of programs helping change the lives of hundreds of people while giving shelter dogs a new purpose in life. Every person has a story. Every dog has a purpose. You can be part of this legacy by helping us to continue the work started by the Roche family and their Freedom Service dog Oreo for many more years to come.